Some of the biggest companies in the world started during recessions, when the economy looked uncertain, when people were scared to take risks. So the real question is this: is a downturn actually the best time to start a business? Hello and welcome to Stack and Startup Al Fresco, the show where we ask you to think outside the box as we talk about business growth, leadership, and the real strategies behind scaling companies. If you've been thinking about starting a business but feel hesitant because the economy, you're not alone. Economic uncertainty makes people cautious. But throughout history, downturns have quietly produced some of the most successful businesses ever created. Today, we're going to talk about why that happens and, more importantly, how you can take the first steps toward building something that changes your life. Many people believe they need the perfect moment to start a business, the perfect economy, the perfect amount of money, the perfect plan. But here's the truth: perfect timing does not exist. Most successful founders didn't start because everything was perfect. They started because they saw a problem worth solving, and sometimes because they were just tired of working for somebody else. Now, here's something interesting about economic downturns: they create problems, and problems create opportunity. When the economy shifts, people and companies start asking new questions. How do we save money? How do we work smarter? How do we adapt? And the businesses that answer those questions become incredibly valuable. Many well known companies were born during difficult economic periods, not because the timing was perfect, but because they solved real problems people were facing right then. Starting during an economic downturn actually gives you several advantages. The first being lower competition. When times are uncertain, few people start businesses, which means less noise and more opportunity. The second advantage: lean thinking. When resources are limited, founders build smarter businesses. They focus on what matters, and suddenly the idea of buying fancy office furniture doesn't seem so urgent. The third advantage: stronger foundations. Businesses built in tough environments tend to be resilient. They learn to solve problems early, and that makes them stronger when the economy improves. One of the biggest reasons people never start a business is because they believe they need everything figured out. But the truth is, businesses rarely start with perfect clarity. They start with curiosity. A simple question like, what problem could I solve? If you're thinking about starting something, here are 3 simple steps. The first: identify a real problem. Look at your industry, your job, or your community. Where are people frustrated? The second step: talk to people. Have conversations. Ask questions. Listen to what people actually need. And then third, start small. Your first vision doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to exist. Every successful business started from a very awkward first version. Starting a business isn't just about strategy, it's about a mindset. Economic uncertainty creates 2 types of people: those who wait and those who prepare. Entrepreneurs are ones who prepare. They understand something powerful: that opportunity hides in change, that problems create markets, that actions beats overthinking. And they realize that building something meaningful often requires stepping into uncertainty. Now, let's talk about something people rarely mention. Starting a business isn't just about money. It's about ownership. Ownership of your ideas, ownership of your direction, and ownership of your future. And even if your first business doesn't become a success, the skills you develop are incredibly valuable. The skills you will gain are problem solving, leadership, and resilience. Those skills stay with you for life. Right now, somewhere in the world, someone is starting a business that'll become the next great company. They're not waiting for the economy to be perfect. They're responding to the moment. And that opportunity exists for everyone willing to take the first step. The biggest reason that I started my company is that I was let go from a job. I was doged out of my job. And frankly, I had no idea where to go. The market had shifted to where there were so many more people like me out there that no calls were coming back. And I realized that I couldn't work for someone else again. I could work for customers, but I was going to be the one making the directions of how the company was going to go. And that is what really appealed to me about starting a business, even during what seemed to be one of the worst times to even do so. And so for that reason alone, if you take anything on board, I hope that you just try. Try to start something. And if it fails, move on to the next thing. But if it succeeds, it'll succeed higher than you ever thought possible. So I do want to thank you for listening to Stack and Startup Al Fresco. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. You can find us on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts to follow along as we continue to explore business and technology from a different perspective. Lastly, if you want to support these conversations directly, you can become a patron at patreon.com/stackandstartup. Until next time, keep thinking outside the box.